sometimes the things you're best at are not actually the thing that you think you want to do.
I remember the day that I decided to text you, and it was really funny because I was with my friend next to me, and he was like, "You just message her. It's fine. Like she's gonna be fine with it." And I was like, I don't know." And then I sent you the message, and you were super fine with it. You were like loving the idea, and then you came to the show, and it was a success. And then you started bringing people in, and I was like, "This is sick."
Well, thanks. I've really enjoyed it, and I've loved watching it, and it's been great. And the thing is, I think it's been really interesting for several different reasons, right? First of all, you've had some absolute legends on the show, which you know. But what I've liked the most about it is, I'm like, I know a lot of these people are like my friends, but I actually think the one thing that you realize is that everyone is humble.
Definitely, 100%.
Like, talk to, no one is cocky or anything at all like that. And I think it's been, if like, when I think about it, like when I pull back and I think what it must be like for someone who's, in the very early days of this industry and wants to get ahead and is like watching all of these people and going, oh, I'd love to do that, I'd love to do that. I think the one thing that's really interesting is that the way they speak about how it all happened, you realize that so much of it had just to do with time, place, luck. A lot of them were never going to work in music. And I think the way they also describe how it's all grown, it just shows you how organic it is. It's a very organic industry. But I also think it makes you realize how much easier it is to get into, than like I always say to people, and I've said this to you, and you know this, like communication is so important. You have to tell people that you want to work in it. And if you keep saying it to people and just getting involved and chatting to people and not like, not terrorizing people, but just letting them know, one day the phone will ring, like hence you texting me. Do you know what I mean? All these things have a way of working themselves out.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's true. And from a young
I
person,
found them really funny. I think they've been really hilarious. I mean, I roared. Helen was absolutely brilliant.
that interview is in my mind. Like, is it always in the back of my mind every single time I put glitter on myself? I'm like, that's for health. Like, I've got to put this.
Hilarious. And she works
Yeah.
so hard, so good at her job, and she's such a lovely, fun, warm person. Like she's great crack, and she's brilliant. But she's obsessed with glitter. Like you've no idea when you're working with her.
She's obsessed. Yeah, she's as obsessed with glitter as she is with Dolly Parton.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love her. She's brilliant.
Amazing. No, but yeah, definitely from like a person who's starting in the industry perspective, we have this kind of like barrier in between like us young people, emerging professionals, and the people who are already working in the industry and who are legends. We've got this kind of like, I think we kind of I like make them idols. So like we believe that you guys are idols and we cannot get in touch with you. And he's like super common around my generation for some reason. And I definitely thought this way before getting in touch with you. And sometimes I talk with friends and they are like, how is that possible? Yeah, definitely. Like
I'm like, what are you talking about? That is,
I'm telling you. It's like for us because how is it, I don't know, like if, let's say normal people are fans of artists and we are fans of people who work with artists.
yeah, I get it. But the thing is, I think to realize as well, like, and you know what? Do you know what else I've loved about it? The variety of roles that people have done. Like, I love the fact you've had people on, like, you had what's his name? My friend who was doing video on Beyonce with me.
Oh yeah, Dominic.
Dominic, but like Dominic is an absolute genius. He's brilliant at what he does, but and he's such a lovely guy. Like I love Dom. He's such a, and he's very, very funny. There's a team of them and they crack me up. But what I just think it's really interesting, because I don't think people realize I could do that on tour, you know, like I could do catering, I could be a runner, I could do production, I could be like, carpenters are needed on tour. On all the big tours, there's a carps team, you know, an electrician, an accountant, all of these different roles that I just think people like, so that it goes into their head, actually I could do this, you know, and get to see the world and have these amazing experiences, and you know, live a very different life. And it's like, it's not for everyone, it isn't, but those who love it really love it, you know. It's home.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that was one of the main goals when I set up this show. I was like, I want to talk with anyone, like with every single person around, you know,
Yeah.
because I've learned we can learn so much from them and from their stories, and
Yeah,
they're so
like,
inspirational.
sorry, Tim Mac Williams, I mean, he's iconic.
Yeah, Tim, I love that man.
Amazing. He's an absolute, I loved him. He's a star bar, but like, I mean, he's done everything. He's like, he's the top of the top. And yet, even the way Tim will, like the way I mean, you heard him, the way Tim explains it all makes it just realize it's so easy, you know, not the role, but as in how it happens. It's organic. You've had some real legends, and you've had some real, like, you've had a couple of like some really big players who you've interviewed, and you have just sailed through it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there was this thing that Helen said at the interview that I did with her. She said, it's just nice to be nice, you know. I really that phrase really resonated with me, and with the fact that you say that it's a really organic industry. And at the end of the day, if you just talk normally, if you just avoid those kind of idolizations of like making the other person an idol, like just treat them as who they are, with respect always, obviously, and the respect for the job that they do, and that's it, and just have a good time. I think that was the motto of Life versus Life. Just have a good time.
Maybe this is the role you'll go into. Maybe this is what you'll end up doing, you know. And this, I said this to you as well about, you know, you meet people who are like, you know, they're very, when I say very young, I mean like inexperienced, and they have decided that they want to be this, and they're not letting anything else come into play, whatever. And in one way, I'm like, that's brilliant when you're that determined and that is your focus. But I think sometimes a lot of people might have chosen that role for whatever reason, and not actually, like, sometimes the things you're best at are not actually the thing that you think you want to do.